Being creative is the easy part. That's the thing we got covered. That's why we got into this business in the first place. We take lettering courses, we learn about typography, about color theory, about the latest trends, about what software to use, about what's hot, what the big agencies are doing. We all focus all of our attention on the design part of our career. The other parts we are severely lacking. The problems we have are because we don't understand what creativity really is. We don't understand our clients. We are too afraid to talk about money, so we've never gotten better at it. We just suck at talking about money. We don't manage our time well, and we don't have a real process, so we keep reinventing the wheel. And that's why so many of us are burnt out, anxious, feeling that they don't make enough money or feeling that they are not worthy enough, lack of fulfillment, working with the wrong people on the wrong job, stuff like that. It goes on and on. It's not because we're not good designers, it's because we don't understand the rest of it. Millions of people can do what we do, and many of them are better than us. The value here really is that I've taken all of these things, areas in which I myself have made many mistakes. I've taken all of them, I've dissected them, and I've sort of rearranged them so that it makes sense from the perspective of a designer. So by just sitting there and soaking up the information, whether it's reading or just watching this video, I assure you, you can become a much better designer. I've been a designer for 17 years now, and for 15 of those years I was the leader of a creative agency that I co-founded. And during my time as a creative agency leader, I interviewed and I employed a lot of different designers. When talking and working with designers, a few things stand out. Almost every designer that I've worked with felt that one way or another they were not good enough. It seems that, especially in the creative industry, many people are looking for ways to become better. They buy courses online, they read books, they go to creative conferences, they buy new software, they buy new hardware. They are always looking to get an edge, they're always looking to improve a little. And of course, becoming better at something is really good, but I feel like in the creative industry, perhaps at times it can become a little toxic. And this drive to constantly improve might actually be doing us more harm than good. Now, when you talk to designers about the struggles they have or the challenges they face, then a few things typically come up. They often talk about not having enough clients or struggling to find the right clients. When they do have clients, they feel like the clients aren't paying them enough. So many creatives either work too hard, too long hours, or don't get paid enough, or often both. Another very common problem is that work gets rejected. So the designer will come up with an idea or a design, a concept, and then the client will have too much feedback or completely reject the idea, or they'll get stuck in endless feedback loops. So as a result, many designers feel as if they are not good enough. This reflects poorly on themselves, on their self-image, and you get a vicious circle. Now, what's really interesting about this to me is that most of these problems have very little to do with design itself. They have very little to do with creativity, with inspiration, with our technical ability, with how well we know the software. All of those things, it seems, we have covered. So if these problems really aren't about design and creativity, then maybe the solutions aren't design and creativity related either. However, we keep looking the other way, buying that other lettering course, or subscribing to that newsletter about where to find inspiration. And this isn't solving our problem. So what I think would be a really good investment of your time for an hour, maybe two, is to not talk about design at all, not talk about typography, layout, or color, not talk about software or hardware or any of that, but instead talk about our identity, about clients, about money, about time, and about our process. And I promise you, no matter how experienced you already are, if you just follow along, so who am I to tell you all of this? I dropped out of art school twice before co-founding a creative agency. That's 17 years ago now. I led the creative agency for 15 years. We employed a handful of designers, video editors, a lot of very talented people. And 2 years ago, I left the agency and now I'm a freelance designer. I'm also the author of a book called Being Creative is the Easy Part, which is exactly what this video is about. So in the book, I wrote everything that I wish I knew when I started the agency 17 years ago. Again, I dropped out of art school twice and I knew very little. But my blind spots weren't in the creative department, they were in every other department. So I had to make a lot of mistakes and pick up a lot of pieces and fix a lot of stuff, which taught me many valuable lessons. So if you find this video interesting, it's not a promotion for the book, it's more like an adaptation for those who don't like to read. But I think the book will give you some extra background information and perhaps some useful exercises you can do. So you can check it out if you want, but on itself, you don't need the book to enjoy this video. Nowadays, it seems that success is almost always defined as something which can be measured materially or has to do with status. But the success that we're after here, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily mean we will get very wealthy or drive a fancy car. In all honesty, if you want to become very wealthy, you shouldn't be a designer. Sure, you can live a comfortable life, you can earn a decent amount of money, you can have a very fulfilling job, but you will not get very rich. And yes, I know there are people who founded creative agencies, or maybe a couple of outliers who succeeded in becoming rather rich through design and creativity, but it's a 1 in a million chance. So if it's not money that we're after, then what do we want? 4 things. 1, I think for a designer especially, it's important to aim not to work more than 32 hours a week, and preferably less. Design is very taxing. It's very complex mentally. We have to communicate with a lot of people. We have to incorporate a lot of information and data from different sources. There's time pressure. So I believe that as a designer, we shouldn't work 60-hour weeks. No matter what other people tell you, no matter what that cool guy on Instagram does, it's not going to work in the long run. So 32 hours at the most. Sure, there can be weeks where it's a little bit more, but those should be the exception. The second milestone of success for me is that we work with and for people that we feel connected to, people we enjoy hanging out with, people we enjoy talking to. We will feel more at ease, our work will improve, our ideas will be better. Especially as a designer, it's really important that the people around us respect us. The third milestone of success is that we feel creatively fulfilled. It's very simple, but it needs to be in here because many of us will take on jobs that outright suck. Jobs that are not challenging, jobs where our creativity isn't appreciated, and those jobs in the long run will wear us out. Of course, not every job we do can be amazing, and sometimes there's just work that needs to be done, but at the same time, we should make sure that there's always something on the horizon, or at least one of our projects that are engaging or challenging or fun. The fourth and final milestone of success is in fact monetary. I know I said that we don't want to measure success just to material things, but money is important because if we don't earn enough money, then we will be stressed out because we can't pay our rent or we can't pay for our groceries or whatever problems we run into. So even though it's not our aim to become very wealthy, we shouldn't neglect our financial situation. As a general ballpark, and again, this is an ambitious goal, but I think we should aim at earning twice the median personal income. Now, this might sound high, but we need to set the bar high enough so that there's actually something to work towards to. If we reach that number, then we will be in a really good place where we can afford to take some more time off, afford to go on a trip, afford to live in a little bit nicer area, a little bit better neighborhood, stuff like that, which really will affect our work positively.